Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, folks? It is your boy right here, man. MMA Reloaded. We are live and we are direct. Episode 46. MMA Reloaded Raw Talk. Episode 46. Folks, yeah, man. You know what it is, dog. You know what time it is. And I hope, folks, y'all enjoyed the shout out, the breakdown, Instagram story on Fight Night Vegas 20 this past weekend. You know what, folks? I will tell you this right now, yeah. You get a bit of alcohol down me, yeah. And folks, it will be the most entertaining story you will ever see in your life, man. Honestly, no, I'm glad you guys tuned in. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate all the support, all the respect, all raised it always, man. This is why I do it. I do it for you guys, do it for you fans. Um, you know what I mean? So, folks, tonight, episode 46. That's right, folks. 4 episodes away from our 50th episode, half a century, the big 5-0. And yeah, folks, you know what I'm saying? I had to wear the shirt of literally the greatest of all time. I don't care who comes into this sport, who doesn't come into the sport. That man right here, man, Muhammad Ali, will always be the greatest. So, folks, today I talk to I'll take another trip to Canada, folks. Another trip across the pond to Canada, the northerly neighbors, the Great White North. And I talked to, folks, one of Canada's best, a young lion, a man who will, folks, March the 12th, be going one-on-one with Colin Hutbody for the Cage Fury middleweight championship, folks. He is none other than the mullet mauler, folks, a rising star in mixed martial arts, Aaron Jeffery. Yeah, folks. And so you might have seen him, folks. He has he's got an infectious energy, charisma. He's got the talent, scrappy, tough. He was on the Contender Series too, folks. I lost to Brendan Allen. So there's no shame in that. And we will talk about his experience on the Contender also tonight. And also, folks, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, man. You know what it is, man. You know, it's a show where we talk real, we never lie, cheating still. Aaron Jeffery will be joining us, folks, 8 o'clock. That's 3 p.m. Eastern Time and 8 p.m. GMT. Yeah, folks, and you know why we come on the air early, you know what I mean? It's to just have my one-on-ones with you guys, you know what I'm saying? So, folks, the biggest thing right now, I guess, to get out of the way before we kick it off is Fight Week. Yeah, folks, it's there once again. We are 6 nights away from literally one of the biggest fight nights in history of the UFC. Definitely one of the biggest of this year. UFC 259, folks, 4 champions, 3 championship fights, number 1 contenders. Like I said on Instagram, folks, the possibilities are endless. The potential is endless and new and still, who knows? Yeah, folks. Israel Adesanya, Jan Blachowicz. A lot of people are giving so much respect to Israel for stepping up to light heavyweight. 2 defenses into his middleweight championship reign. He steps up to light heavyweight to challenge probably the most intimidating champion at 205, Jan Blachowicz. You know, folks, Jan is a revolutionary champion. He's a veteran. It's not his first rodeo in the UFC by any means. He's been in there with the best and he's lost to the best, but he's also beaten the best. You know, folks. And there's also that thing where you can never really predict the Jan Blachowicz fight. You know, he's good everywhere. Great grappling, submissions, but his striking and his boxing has really taken over his career lately. His fights have all been knockouts. You know, Luke Rockhold, he knocked him out. Corey Anderson knocked him out. Dominic Reyes. You know, that resume itself, those 3 guys are amazing. You know, he had tough fights against Anthony Smith and against Thiago Maheta Santos. But, folks, those 2 guys are literally his biggest contenders besides Israel Adesanya or besides Dominic Reyes, you know. You got Lionheart and you got Maheta sitting there and waiting for their shot. You got Glover Teixeira and Alexander Rakic. You got Thiago Santos versus Rakic at UFC 259 also. And then, folks, you got Petr Yan against Aljamain Sterling. So, folks, when you have Aljamain Sterling in a fight, right, it's as unpredictable as it gets. You know, you never know where Aljamain's going to take the fight. Is he going to use his wrestling? Is he not? Is he going to use his striking against Petr Yan? Who knows? You know, folks, Petr Yan's good everywhere, man. He's just like Aljamain in a way that anywhere the fight goes, he's comfortable, very confident. You know, in terms of being a fast starter, Petr Yan's more of a guy who walks you down, you know, takes you in the first couple of minutes, and then he walks you down and starts striking. And with his wrestling, his upper body's so strong, folks. You look at him, yeah, he's ripped to shreds. He's little dynamite, you know, and his wrestling is so strong. You know, we saw that against Uriah Faber. We saw that against Jose Aldo. Those guys are two of the greats. And then, you know, you never can predict a fight, yeah, folks. Aljamain Sterling, if Petr Yan tries to take Aljo down, it's not the best idea. You know, Aljamain's been in there with absolute greats. You know, he is dubbed as, you know, the future, and I am not doubting that for 1 second. If Aljamain does win the Bantamweight Championship, and I have to say he has a pretty damn good chance. He has experience on his side in the UFC. He's been in there with the best Marlon Moraes, Jimmy Rivera. You know, he's been in there with Corey Sandhagen, who he choked out. He's been in there with some of the greats. You know, he's been in there with Pedro Munoz, beating him. It's a very, very tough fight, folks, to call, I have to say. Striking, I don't know. Speed, you have to give it to Aljo, but Petr Yan so fast, and when he uses that quickness in his movement and comes forward the way he does, Predator style, you know, he could catch Aljamain Sterling hard with a shot. Marlon Moraes caught Aljamain Sterling with a knee. So imagine that coming from Petr Yan. You never know, man. And then, folks, you got Megan Anderson versus Amanda Nunes. To be honest, yeah, I don't know what the hell is going to go on in this fight. I'll tell you this with the wholeheartedness right now. Amanda Nunes is probably the favorite, right? She's probably like 100-1 favorite. She's probably like, you know, she's probably the biggest favorite on the card. Who knows, man? Yeah, I can't really predict that now, but yeah, she probably is. But Megan Anderson, yeah, folks, I'll tell you what's up, yeah. I'll tell you what's up. And I'll tell you what's up here from her record, right? Yeah. Because everything I'm going to explain to you right now is coming from Megan Anderson's record. I'm not doubting Megan Anderson. I will never doubt Megan Anderson ever. She's a talent, all right? She's a real talent, good everywhere. She's very technical, but she packs heat. She packs power. She's a killer. When she wants to finish you, she'll finish you. Yeah, folks. But this is where I'm going with this, right? Okay, so her first notable fight was at Invicta 14. She lost to Cindy Dandois, right? A veteran, right? That was her first loss in Invicta, yeah. And then what happened after that? She beat Amanda Leibrot, yeah, who, you know, is not a notable name to most fans. Not a notable name to most fans, but she is currently a Bellator featherweight. Amanda Bell, she beat Amanda Bell, you know, who's 7-7 in her career. She beat Peggy Morgan, who was an Ultimate Fighter veteran and the UFC veteran. So that's a good win. Charmaine Tweet, who knows who Charmaine Tweet? She lost to Holly Holm, beat Kat Zingano, lost to Felicia Spencer. So you know where I'm going with this here, folks, is that when she's faced with big competition, she doesn't tend to come out with the win, you know? So she needs to find that way to get a confidence up. She got a confidence up now beating on a 2-fight win streak. against Zaira Ferran dos Santos and Norma Dumont Viana. Again, she's beat. When she's faced off with an opponent not as notable, she does perform. But when she's faced off now in the biggest situation, the biggest fight of her career, who knows, man? Will she crumble under the pressure? Will she fight with the confidence, with the killer instinct that we've seen her fight with throughout her UFC career? Amanda Nunes, folks, there's no question. Literally, she surpassed Ronda Rousey, surpassed Miesha Tate, surpassed Holly Holm, and is probably the greatest, and even surpassed Chris Cyborg, in my opinion, as the greatest women's MMA fighter of all time. Folks, and there's a lot of women out there in mixed martial arts who could be classified as the greatest, but none greater than Amanda Nunes right now, folks. Folks, we will do the particulars right now with Aaron Jeffery, so I can come back and keep the one-on-one going. So stay tuned. Don't turn your videos off, yeah, folks. Oh, shit. Yeah, folks, so welcome back. We had to do the particulars. You know what the particulars are, man. So we send the invite, that very, very necessary invite to our guest. Folks, Aaron Jeffery, folks, is my guest. 9-2 in his career, 8 stoppages. Number 1 contender for the Cage Fury Middleweight Championship out of NTT Niagara Top Team, and Parabellum MMA with Anthony Romero, the genius himself. Yeah, folks, so it'll be a pleasure to speak to the Mullet Mauler, Aaron Jeffery, here tonight, folks. You see, folks, I want to also talk about Patricio Pitbull Freire. Folks, many fans, if you don't watch Bellator, you don't know who he is. You might have seen him on Instagram be vocal about Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski, Michael Chandler. That's because he's actually beaten Michael Chandler. But yeah, folks, if you're not familiar with Bellator, he is a 2-division Bellator featherweight and lightweight champion. Okay, no one's beaten him for those titles. He is a damn animal. Yeah, folks. He is not the type of guy to. I think what is here, folks, is Bellator. You know, they have class fights. It's not like if somebody fights in the UFC or the best in the world and that's the end of it. There's, you know, who knows, you know, Bellator have talent. They have studs, young studs, guys that go scrap for the belt, you know, and that Grand Prix tournament setup that they have going on, it sort of even furthers that discussion of giving the win to whoever deserves it, giving new opportunities, you know. And I have to say, folks, when Pitbull defends his title, folks, when he goes and fights, he's always he is always dominant. Yeah, folks, there is nothing and nobody as dominant as Patricio Freire. Yeah, folks. Hold up. And if you see his past couple fights, folks, he is dominant, you know, and he's beaten Michael Chandler. So when Michael Chandler got brought to the UFC, he was more vocal than ever. You know, he was like, "Why the fuck would you bring Michael Chandler into the UFC and not bring me in? Why would you bring somebody that I've already beaten into the UFC and not even consider me?" So that I do see his point. He does have a fair point, but there's always, you know, that it's political, I guess, you know, that in the featherweight division in the UFC is stacked. It's stacked to high heavens. In the lightweight division, it's stacked as well. So if you brought Patricio Pitbull into the featherweight division, who would complain? Nobody. If you brought Michael Chandler into the lightweight, I'll tell you why he brought Michael Chandler. I'll tell you this right now, yeah, is Michael Chandler's been there and he's done it at Bellator. He's a godfather of the Bellator lightweight division, no doubt about it. You know, he lost to Brent Primus in his first lightweight championship reign. Brent Primus ended it, won the title back, then lost it to Pitbull. You know, I see. So you see where Pitbull gets his argument from. But Pitbull needs to relax. You know, I think he has a big task ahead of him in Emmanuel Sanchez, the Matador. He has that real shit ahead of him, you know, in his rematch with Matador at UFC at Bellator 255. So you can never really, you know, I would love to see Pitbull in the UFC get tested by UFC featherweights. But folks, until then, he's still a Bellator champion. You know, he's still considered as one of the best featherweights, you know, in the world. But there's always you never know, man. If him and Michael Chandler met again, who knows? Who does, man? Bellator have a few good events coming up there, folks. You got James Gallagher and Patrick Mix, which is confirmed for May the 7th. You have Sergio Pettis challenging Juan Archuleta for the Bellator Bantamweight Championship, and you have Patricio Pitbull against Emmanuel Sanchez, folks. Sorry, man. Sorry. Shout out to the Matador, Emmanuel Sanchez, man. I didn't forget the names. There's just so much shit to remember. Yeah, so you have Pitbull against Sanchez for April the 2nd at Bellator 255. That will kick off Bellator's 2021, folks. Then you have the light heavyweight Grand Prix. Yeah, folks. And this is star-studded. As star-studded as you want. Yeah, this is it right here, folks. Corey Anderson, Anthony Rumble Johnson, Yoel Romero, Ryan Bader, yeah, the champion, Vadim Nemkov. Oh, shit. He's here. Folks, Aaron Jeffery's here, folks. Let's get on right now, man. Damn. Hey, Aaron.
What's up, man?
Wow, man, the mullet mauler, bro. What's going on,
That's
man?
me. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. How's it going, bro?
Good, good. Everything's good, man.
Yeah. Now, first of all, bro, welcome to MMA Reloaded, bro. It's a pleasure to have you, man. How's training been, man? We're 2 weeks out from your championship fight, Cage
Yep.
Fury against Colin Hoggbody, bro. How you feeling, man? How's camp been going for you, bro?
Feeling very good. Yeah, it's been a great camp. The only thing that's going on really is like all the COVID shit, the restrictions and whatever. Like they've been trying to shut our gym down, and a bylaw officer actually came in like during one of our practices and like wanted to write us tickets and all this shit. So that's a minor inconvenience, but everything else is good.
You better take him down and put him in a guillotine choke or something. Fuck that, man. But yeah, man, how that was practically my next question, boys. How has it been training in the pandemic? But obviously it's hard. Shit's been closed, gym been closed.
Yeah.
How was it for you, man?
Yeah, like I said, them trying to shut down the gym is inconvenient to say the least. So that sucks. Travel's difficult too. Like we're leaving this Saturday to fly to the States. I got to get a COVID test within 72 hours of getting on the airplane. So
Yeah.
we got to try and time this test to make sure we get our results in time. I got to get a COVID test when we get to the States, and then when I come back to Canada, another test, and then a mandatory 2-week quarantine, stuck at home doing nothing. So yeah, it sucks.
Boy, man, I know what that's like, bro. You know, in the UK, man, we're in the shit here too. You know,
For sure,
um,
right?
so yeah, man. I know how you feel, bro. That's fucked up. But
You
but
guys
no,
are very locked down there too, eh?
yeah,
Like
man.
a
Yeah,
lot of restrictions.
yeah, we're locked down, man, and there's all this political shit going on, you know.
Yeah,
But but no, man, you know, you got a fight coming up, you know, 2 weeks,
yep,
championship, middleweight championship. Well, he's a contender series alumni like you were.
yep, yep.
Um, but first of all, man, the how did it all start, bro, for you in mixed martial arts? For fans that don't know who Aaron Jeffery is,
hmm
how did it all start for you, man?
Honestly, it's not really like any exciting story. I have an older brother, and I would watch the fights with him growing up. And then when we were in high school together, he found like a small little shitty gym at the town we're from to train in, and I started there. And then when I moved away for university to a bigger city, I found a decent gym and stuck with it. One day the coach asked me if I wanted to fight, and I had actually never even considered taking an MMA fight, but I was like, all right, I guess I'll do it. I got my ass kicked in my first fight, but I loved it and stuck with it.
And of course, bro, the iconic hairstyle.
Yeah.
You know how did that start, man?
So like everyone was growing out the COVID hair for a bit there, right? When we first had the lockdown, like
Oh
everything was
yeah.
closed, weren't allowed to go to the hairdresser or whatever.
Mm.
So I was just growing it out super long. And then when I got back in the gym training a lot, my hair was always in my face and getting in my eyes and shit, and I couldn't see. But I wanted to have long hair, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just cut the top and leave the back.
But yeah, man, you know it's cool, man. If it's not an exciting story of the way you started, everyone starts somewhere, right? You know, and bro, you climbed the ladder, man. Really, in this industry, you're pretty well traveled. You know, I'm
Yep,
sure people don't understand that. You know, OFC, King of the Cage. You got BTC in Canada,
yep,
Combat Zone, all that, bro, and the
yep,
Contender Series.
yep.
How would you compare, bro, competing at King of the Cage to say competing at Cage Fury? You know, or how would you compare competing in Canada to competing in the States?
Um, Well, competing in Canada was like totally different for me because I'm so used to having to fly to my fights or like long drives, like 6 or 8 hour drives, and you're the out of town guy and you're fighting the hometown guy, and everyone wants you to get your ass kicked. You're staying in a hotel, whatever. So I was used to that my whole career, and then just a couple of years ago, we finally had a promotion that started having fights in Canada, and they're actually right close to me. The one fight was like 20 minutes from my house, so I got to like stay at home, sleep in my own bed, eat all my own food. So it was really weird. I didn't like it. I would prefer to go somewhere else, hop on the airplane, stay in the hotel.
Oh,
It feels more like a fight trip.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so it didn't.
yeah, yeah. I think a lot of fighters would probably say that, like sleeping at home in your own bed with a girlfriend beside you. You just don't feel like you're getting in a fist fight the next night, you know?
Yeah,
Um, and then as far as like Contender Series goes, man, it's like it's just crazy how professional everything is. Um, like you fight for these small town shows, and it's like show up whenever, people are late, everyone's fucking disorganized, whatever. And then you go to like Contender Series UFC, and it's like everything is scheduled, everything is on time. You got your paperwork. They give you like the paper with your schedule. They're paying for your food. It's just it's totally different.
and then when you fight at the smaller shows, bro, like King of the Cage or Cage
Yep.
Fury or OFC BTC, how different is that, bro? Is it mainly the same layout when you go fight at the smaller shows, or is there some difference?
Yeah, it's going to be the same layout and like the same idea. It's just they don't have like the manpower to like UFC is going to have a different guy for every single job, right? Like there's
Okay.
one guy that's driving the bus, there's one guy that's giving you your schedule, there's one guy that's like doing the paperwork for you, there's another guy that's doing this and this and this.
Yeah.
So the smaller shows they don't have the money, so it's like one person doing 10 different jobs. It's going to get a little messy.
Yeah, man, no, for sure, bro. So it's just the professionalism, right?
For sure,
That's pretty much the only difference. And
for sure.
I mean, you're right, but I mean, I respect smaller shows for doing what they do with the manpower they have. But yeah, man, in the UFC, pretty much nothing compares to that experience,
Exactly,
right, bro? And
exactly.
how was that experience, bro, for you on the Contender Series? Apart from the professionalism outside the cage,
Yeah,
how was it for you inside the cage in the fight, bro?
yeah. Inside the cage, I said this in a few interviews before. I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of got my ass kicked. I got finished in the first round, but up until that point, man, like he caught me with a knee that dropped me. But up until then, I felt good in there. I felt strong. I felt like I was on his level. So I think I deserve to be in there with those kind of guys.
I think so, man. There's no shame in that, bro, because he's in the UFC right now and he's tearing
Yep,
it up, you know.
yep,
So
for
there's
sure.
no shame in that for me, man. You know, I respect what you do. I respect your what you've done in your career, man. So
Thank you, bro.
yeah, and everyone, like you said, bro, when I asked you how you started, everyone starts, right, bro? And you start in the amateur ranks if you decide to choose that path. How was it for you, bro, making the transition from being an amateur to being a professional? Was it hard for you, bro? Did you feel some pressure? Did you have to change shit up? How was that for you, man?
Hey, one second. Let me put my dog outside. She's whining. Hold
That's
that thought.
cool. Yeah, that's cool, man. Don't worry about it.
Um, so I had a lot of amateur experience actually. I had 9 amateur MMA fights. I had a couple. I did 2 kickboxing tournaments. I had like 4 fights between the 2 tournaments. I did a bunch of jiu-jitsu matches. So no, I felt ready. I mean, if I look back at it, I feel like I sucked in my first pro fight, but at the time I felt very ready. I had a lot of experience. So yeah, it just felt like it was time.
Is it true, bro? When someone says to a fighter to have as much amateur experience as you possibly can,
Mhm.
would you second that advice, or would you say get into the pro as soon as possible?
Um, I'd say there's kind of a fine line because you want to have a lot of experience for sure. You got to feel comfortable in the cage,
Yeah,
but you also don't want to put so many miles on your body getting in amateur fights where you're not getting paid, right? Like, you don't want to have like 30 amateur fights and take like all this damage and then go pro and your body's already broken or your brain's all beat up or whatever. So, yeah, you got to be ready. But I don't think you can wait too long at the same time.
no, hell no, man. And in fact, I mean, you know, some guys that's probably the reason why they move to pro so quick is because of the money, right? And
For sure.
but to be honest, yeah, well, I mean, for me, climbing a rank is so important, bro, because you want to feel like you deserve it, right? You
Hmm.
don't want to go into the pros too early and get your ass kicked for your first like 3-4 fights and all that
Exactly.
shit. You know, and I guess it takes some guys longer than others to get acclimated, right, bro? And how do you feel when you see that, bro? Do you feel like when you see someone like you know, a few young guys that we've seen in UFC lately lose their first two or something like that? How do you feel when you see that, bro? Does that mean that they're less talented than they make out to be, or yeah? What are your thoughts about that, Aaron?
Yeah, I think some guys get pushed through a little bit too early. I think if you're like at a big name gym, like a Team Alpha Male or Jackson Wink or something like that, they have a lot of good connections and they can get you into the UFC pretty quickly. So you see a guy with like 5 pro fights coming into the UFC and he's only fought like fucking complete scrubs his whole career, and then he gets into the UFC and faces a decent opponent and gets beat up. So yeah, I think that happens more often now. It's frustrating too. Like where I'm at, I've had a bunch of pro fights. I fought contender series, pretty high level stuff, and I'm still not getting the call. And then you turn into some UFC events, and there's like some bums there with like only a few fights on the record, getting beat up or whatever. So it's a little bit frustrating for sure.
I mean, you see that with, but you see it in mismatches right now, right? Like when I watch Bellator, yeah, bro, that's the most mismatched promotion I ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like and the guy that they're favoring gets his ass kicked.
Yeah.
They don't know what the hell to do with him next, you know, and it sucks, you know, bro. And do you think now that fighting Colin Hawkbody, bro, and you know, Fight Pass and Cage Fury is, you know, one of the biggest independent promotions out there. Do you feel that that could be your ticket back, bro, to the UFC?
I hope so, man. Like people have been saying that for a while, like for the past year, I think people have been saying like one more fight, this next win will get you there. So I don't know. I'm probably thinking about it less now just because this talk's been going on for so long. All I can do is go in there and win this next fight. So that's what I'm gonna do.
I'm sorry to throw the cliche out there, bro, but yeah, man. I know you've been doing a lot of interviews, bro, so I'm sure that question probably been thrown at you a lot. You know, man, and training at Parabellum and NTT with Anthony Romero, bro, who was also on the Contender.
Yeah.
You know, how sorry, man, how is that experience for you, bro? Because there's a lot of studs in that gym, bro. I was researching that up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's great, man. I think that is one thing that COVID has blessed us with is the gym that we have now at NTT. Because a lot of other gyms closed down, like Parabellum actually closed down. We don't have that anymore.
Oh shit!
So when the lockdowns all first started, a lot of guys didn't have places to train, but we were still training here, and guys were coming from all over.
Yeah.
And it was actually like at the beginning of the COVID was probably the time in my career when I had like the best, most consistent training partners. So yeah, we were lucky on that end.
And then you know, but when we talk about fighting, yeah, right, and we talk about mixed martial arts, we talk about politics, yeah, but there's a lot of shit that goes on inside the cage, outside the cage, social media, all that shit, yeah, bro. And I wanna start off by talking about social media, yeah, but when nowadays, yeah, bro, 21st century or whatever you want, yeah, social media is a big ass part of MMA, for fight of the fight game in general, right, bro? People make their own fights over Twitter, you know, and all that
for
shit.
real.
What's your take, Aaron, on social media right now, bro? And you know, do you feel like you know, how do you feel when you see all these discussion groups, all these debates, people chatting shit, and what's your take on that, man?
Yeah, I'll plug myself first because you gave me the opportunity everywhere at AAJ MMA.
Definitely.
And yeah, it's weird. It's kind of bittersweet too because I think it's like the start of the McGregor era, kind of when all this shit happened.
I think so.
So now again, you kind of see guys that are just loudmouths and maybe they don't deserve there, but they're there because they got fans watching them because they love them or they hate them, they want them to win or they want to see them get their ass kicked, so there's eyes on them. And maybe they're not deserving from like a skill set point of view, but they bring in the money. So it's kind of frustrating when you see maybe not a skilled guy making big money, but at the same time, this McGregor era has seen more money paid to fighters than ever before, right? We're finally seeing like these $1 million paydays. So
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I think we're all benefiting from it for sure.
And what about when you see comments, tweets between two guys,
Mhm.
and you saw Israel Adesanya, John Jones, we seen
Yeah,
Kevin Holland and Derek Bronson, we
yeah,
seen, there is that fine line, right, bro, that you can say what you want over Twitter, over Instagram, whatever. But then when it
hmm
comes in the cage, it's a whole different ball game, right, bro?
hmm yeah.
And
Again, it's like I'm not going to be the type of guy that's going to go online and talk some shit to people. I think it gets pretty cringy sometimes too. I think some of these fighters don't really even have the best trash talk, so maybe they should stay out of that lane. Some guys are funny with it. I mean, like I think Colby's pretty funny. McGregor's always good when he's talking shit. He's great at it. Yeah, some guys just suck. And I would probably suck. I'm not going to be one of those guys to go online and do that.
I mean, Henry Cejudo sucks, bro, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think he found a little niche though. I think he knows he sucks, and I think he's kind of playing into that now.
and like you said, bro, you see a lot of guys that come in from talking shit and get big fights. Yeah,
Hmm
Kevin Lee and Kobe Covington, two guys.
Yep, yep,
Like Kevin Lee, basically, bro, talked his way into the lightweight championship picture by
yep,
dissing Michael Chiesa's mom.
yep,
Well,
yep.
basically,
Seriously, seriously, yeah. I know it's crazy, eh? Some of the stuff just it picks up, right? Somebody says something online, and the fans loved it for whatever reason,
yeah.
and it gets you a fight, or it gets you a big payday, or whatever. So yeah, I mean, again, I'm not going to be the guy to do it, but if you can do it and you can do it well, then go for it.
I mean, and then when you talk about um, Israel Adesanya, John Jones, yeah, bro. So over Twitter, yeah, Aaron, there was like 12, 13, as I call them, rounds, yeah. There were
Yeah,
12, 13 rounds of absolute balls to the wall shit talk, yeah.
yeah,
And and that was leading to, we're gonna fight in May 2021, Raider
yeah,
Stadium, this shit, yeah. But
yeah,
where's the announcement? There's no announcement, G. It's just all talk at this point in time.
yeah, yeah.
That. What are your thoughts when you see something like that? It's like a teaser, right, bro? It's like a
Yeah,
spoiler. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's hard to say, right? Like you wonder, these guys obviously don't actually dislike each other. I wouldn't think like they probably never really met each other or
Yeah.
had much conversation in person. So maybe they're kind of talking behind the scenes too, like, hey, let's talk this up and let's get a big payday. I don't know, or maybe they're both actually just assholes and want to talk shit online. It's hard to say.
I think, bro, to be honest, yeah, that would be one of the best fights of all time if that
For
shit could go
sure.
down. And of course, guys use social media to sort of stamp their authority, right, bro? And send a message on a mission on the mic, all that.
Yeah.
Francis Ngannou does it, bro, and John Jones did it lately, bro, with his move to heavyweight. Yeah, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that too, but how do you feel John Jones will do at heavyweight, man?
I mean, I think he'll do well at any weight. He's obviously a phenomenal fighter. Um, to me, it looks like he's slowed down a little bit in his last couple fights. So
No.
just judging on that, I don't know. I don't know if he's like past his prime or too much shit's happened his career and he lost it a little bit. But I haven't been like too hyped on John Jones the last few fights. But I'm excited, man, to see him at heavyweight. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, me too, man. I haven't been drinking John Jones Kool-Aid the past couple fights
Yeah,
either.
yeah,
But yeah, man. The other side of politics is judges and referees. Yeah,
yeah,
bro. Of course, you haven't been to the judges a lot in your career, man. You got 8
yeah.
stoppages, 9-2, one decision. If when you see a judge, yeah, bro, make a decision. When you see a split decision, UD, yeah, bro. When you see a referee make a shit call,
Yeah.
what are your first thoughts, AJ, when you see that?
I mean, you're always surprised and and a little bit frustrated, I guess, for the fighters and whatever. But man, it's a hard job. Obviously, there's some judges that like fucking suck completely, like old boxing judges, and it's
Oh
like they
yeah,
don't even know
yeah.
what they're watching. They don't understand the grappling. They just don't understand MMA in general. So that's frustrating. Um, but yeah, you got to sympathize. Sometimes fights are so close. Like even you could be sitting with your buddy and you called it for one guy and he called it for the other guy. So what's the judge supposed to do? It was an even fight. He's got to pick someone, and some people are going to agree and some aren't. And then as far as the ref goes, that's a fucking tough job, man, because they're right there. They don't have all these camera angles. They have 1 second to make the call. So that's tough, man. When a ref gets like shit on for making a bad decision, that sucks.
I mean, bro, we've seen referees come under a lot of scrutiny. Eye poke,
Seriously. Yeah.
big strikes, the whole thing.
Yep.
How do you have you ever been on the receiving end, bro, of a dick strike or eye poke?
No, I don't think I have. No,
Wow,
I've had 20
wow.
fights, amateur and pro. I don't think I've had a single one of those happen to me.
Holy shit, bro. You're one of the lucky ones, that
Lucky.
means. I bet you when you get into the UFC, boy, it might change. Um,
Yeah, I'll be getting hitting the dick and eye poked every fight.
Good luck having kids after that one. Um, when you see that stuff, yeah, because lately in the past two fight nights, especially, it's been a hot talking
Yeah,
topic, right?
yeah,
Oh, why didn't you take a point from him? Why didn't you
yeah,
do this and this?
yeah.
Yeah. When you see someone, and that's why they have instant replay now, right? But when you see a groin strike or when you see an eye poke, what is your first reaction, bro? As a fan watching?
If you do it once or twice, I mean, it's an accident. It happens all the time. It happens in the gym. Sparring partners, I could be sparring with my best buddy in the gym, and that shit will still happen sometimes. It's never intentional.
Uh,
Um, but you got to adjust to it, right? Like if you're throwing like an inside leg kick and hitting him in the dick like 6 times in a row, like you got to stop throwing that kick or really change what you're doing, right? So you see that sometimes too. Guys just don't adjust to what they're doing. They just keep doing it over and over again.
and then, yeah, with eye pokes here, bro, and this is something I want to get a fighter's opinion on. Is guys stand like this, right, bro?
Hmm.
You got one hand open. You may have it like this, or you may have it like that, right?
Yeah,
Why do you do that? Why not just traditional bang like
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Why do guys do that?
I think it's like a distance measuring thing. Like you see John Jones does it and he's
Yeah,
keeping is like right at his perfect range. He's so long, so he's keeping them there. But I think it's kind of a natural reaction too. Like if someone rushes you, I think it's kind of a natural thing to back up with one hand open for whatever reason. Yeah.
and Yair Rodriguez did it to Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah.
But with that one, yeah, bro, that was kind of that was bullshit because the first one they called it.
Yeah. Yeah.
How bad does the kind of iPod get, bro? I mean, if you've seen it in the gym,
Yeah.
it must be
Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah. I don't know. It's surprising you never really see a fight end on that, eh? Like you think
Bro.
two super athletic guys like coming forward at each other and one guy sticks the finger out full force into your eye. You'd think that would be like stopping some fights, but
Ooh,
no, I don't think we've ever really seen that, have we?
ooh. And then I guess that's why they have cups as well, right? And you
For
got
sure.
dog straps and stuff. So
Yeah,
but it still hurts, I guess. But
for sure.
shit, I mean, when you go on the other side, bro, and you have judges, would you say that fuck the casual judges, bro? Yeah, fuck all that.
Hmm.
Have legendary fighters or veterans, yeah,
Yeah,
bro, sit on the judges
yeah,
panel.
for
Yeah,
sure. They don't even need to be legendary, man. If it's fuck, it could be a guy that never even made the UFC, but if he's had like
yeah,
15 or 20 pro fights, then
yeah.
put him there, man, because he knows what he's talking about.
Like guys that are just retired. You know what I mean, bro? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
for
man,
sure. For
exactly.
sure.
Like you can have, guys like OWC guys even, man. Like
Yeah,
Jamie Bonner, have Miguel Torres in there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just have
yeah,
a have a panel that actually knows what the hell they're doing.
exactly.
And then when we get on the other side of politics, bro, I want to talk about not judges, not fighters, but not judges or not referees, but fighters themselves. As a fighter, yeah, bro, pressure is a big thing. Yeah, no matter what kind of fighter you are, pressure is a massive thing. Yeah, but mentally, yeah, how strong as a fighter do you have to be mentally, yeah, bro? Whether you're coming off a loss, whether you're coming off a win, whether you're in the gym training, how mentally tough do you have to be in this game?
Extremely. I mean, like some guys call fighters pussies. He ducked me in this fight or whatever. But I think anybody that's like consistently fighting in MMA is not a pussy. I mean, you're getting locked in the cage with another guy and you're fighting. Like it's the fucking hardest thing you can do in this life, in my opinion. So yeah, you got to be extremely mentally strong, and I think everyone that's doing it is for sure.
Yeah, man. And when you talk about, when if you're in a losing streak, especially, yeah, bro, like we've seen even Carlos Conde, bro, a 6-fight losing streak. We've
Yeah,
seen it with Rafael dos Anjos. We've seen it with a
yeah,
lot of guys, great guys who
mhm,
should be, tearing it up, or getting
mhm,
championships or whatever, but
yeah.
then not. Does that add to pressure, bro? If you're a guy who everyone is a fan of, your championship caliber, you're a former champ, but you're
Yeah,
on a 4-5 fight losing streak.
yeah,
Does that
yeah.
add more pressure?
It's hard to say because I mean that's not me. I'm still just a guy fighting on the regional scene. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm sure all fighters are different, but I feel every single fight is like the most pressure it could be. Um, yeah, it always feels like the biggest fight of your career. I think no matter what. So yeah, it's I'm sure they do feel that way. Absolutely.
yeah, man. And I guess heading into this championship fight, yeah, bro. In March, you're not even far off now. It's a couple
Hmm.
of weeks away.
Yeah, man.
And when people say to you, "Yo, Aaron, one more fight, bro, yeah, and this is it,"
Yeah,
get this belt, and this is it.
yeah, yeah.
How does that make you feel, first of all, man? Do you just block it all out and just do what you do, or
Hmm.
do you say, "Yeah, man, he said it to me. Now I'm gonna go in there and
Yeah.
fucking yeah,
A little bit of both. I mean, if it feels cool that people are talking about that shit. Like, I have an interview later today with MMA Junkie, and they're doing an
oh,
article. It's called On the Doorstep. So they pick
okay,
5 fighters that I think are at the UFC level and could be there with their next win. But actually, at this exact same time last year, they were doing the same article, and they also wrote about me that time. So 1 year later, and I'm in the exact same spot. But so yeah, it feels cool to have big outlets and stuff talking about me and people saying that to me. But yeah, at the same time, again, it's like I'm just doing what I do. If they're saying it or they're not saying it, I'm going to be training as hard as I can and just trying to win this fight.
and when it comes to apart from being mentally strong, yeah, bro, weight cutting is
Hmm.
also a huge part of this sport. Yeah,
For sure.
probably the biggest part of this sport,
Yep.
and that sort of adds to that mental and physical realm of mixed martial arts. As a fighter, yeah, bro, and if you're a coach looking in, if you're a fighter cutting weight, how much pressure, what actually goes into making weight, bro?
Yeah, it depends on the person. I mean, some guys are cutting lots. I don't cut that much weight. I woke up this morning at 198 pounds. I got to be championship weight 185, so 13 pounds for me. So it's nothing. I don't have to diet. I just got to worry about my water load, and that's pretty much it. So it's very easy for me. I'm not all like sucked out and dying on the scale. I usually feel pretty
Jesus Christ.
fine. But then you hear about the guys that are cutting like 40 pounds or something, right? Like buddy, what did he miss by at one of the past UFC events?
Rafael Alves missed
It was
by
like
12 pounds.
12 pounds, yeah.
Yeah,
What weight he was fighting out at 45?
he was fighting at 45. Yeah, bro.
And apparently this guy walks around at 195.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
I mean, this guy, it's probably on his mind every single day, like what he's eating and what he's doing to lose the weight. Um, so yeah, I mean, it depends on the fighter, but some guys are fucking nuts how they do it.
Fucking hell, man. We've seen even guys pass away from, weight
Exactly,
cutting,
for sure,
and
man.
well, that's quite sad, And
Yeah.
if you're a fighter, yeah, but it's all about being smart, right? But we've seen it even on the Ultimate Fighter, where,
Hmm.
introducing fans to fucking weight cutting. Yeah, bro.
Yep.
These
Yeah.
guys dying in the sauna,
Seriously.
and all this shit, and oh man, send me home, and I want to quit, and all this crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
How if you have had a tough weight cut, yeah, bro, cut 20 pounds, cut 40 pounds in just a matter of days. Going into the fight, yeah, and how does that affect your performance apart from cardio? In the cage.
Well, I've never done it, so I can't say exactly, but I would imagine not good. And you hear guys say it all the time, or you see them on the scale and they look like shit, and then they perform bad the next day.
Yeah.
They slow down quickly for sure. And I think guys get knocked out easier, and it's not good for your brain. You know, like your brain's a little bit dehydrated. There's some space for your brain to move around inside your skull, and your brain gets rattled around, and guys are getting knocked out, and that's probably causing more brain damage too.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, that's true. It's true. And
Serious.
imagine how much guys walk at after the weigh-in. You know, bro, it's fucked.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, to imagine someone like Anthony Johnson used to walk around at 170 pounds.
Yeah, that was a bad one. That was a bad one.
But when you see all this stuff, you know, and you see all this, you know, they say it's 80% mental and 20% physical. They say weight cutting's a bitch, and they say, you know, you know, you got to be headstrong to be in this game.
Yeah.
How, bro? You know, when you're weight cutting, you know, when you're fighting, especially, you know, how smart do you have to be? Yeah, but how does intelligence play a factor in it? You know, you have to plan your diet out, right? If you're weight cutting, you have to plan your strategy out, right? If you're fighting.
Yeah. I think it's a smart man sport. I think there's a lot of technique that goes into it, and I think you have to be able to store all that shit in your brain. So it definitely requires some brain power, like you said. Like the nutrition, all that stuff requires it. But I know a lot of guys in this sport who are complete meatheads too, and they do very well. So yeah, again, I guess it just depends on the person. Some guys in the sport are very smart. You mentioned my teammate Anthony Romero, the genius we call him. Like he's a very brilliant guy. And then there's some guys that are probably like drop out of high school and they're just like tough motherfuckers and very athletic and they can get by too.
Yeah, man. And then, like I said, boy, if you're fighting in a cage, we heard Curtis Blades say that, you know, before he fought Derek Lewis, that I'm just gonna exploit his weakness. Why would I brawl with a guy that's a shit wrestler? Why would I why would I wrestle with a guy that's a shit striker? You know? The thing is how do you feel about that, Aaron? When somebody says, you know, because in the sport, bro, yeah, winning is everything. You gotta win. Yeah, if you don't win, yeah, and you take all the risks, yeah, you fucking did it for nothing, you know. But if you win, yeah, you won by exploiting the other guy's weakness. And I think we saw Cyril Gane get a lot of shit for it last fight night because he played to his strengths. He knew he was a better technical striker. And Dana White even bagged on him as well, you know. And you saw a lot of guys bag on him. How do you feel when you see that, man? Somebody exploiting their opponent's weakness and using their strength.
Yeah, no, it's good. That's exactly what you have to do. It's exactly what you should do. You're the fighter. You gotta win the fight. So do what you gotta do to win. Maybe some guys play it overly safe and they know there's opportunities there and they just don't take them. But again, man, it's like it's your head on the line. It's your brain. It's your body. So if you know you're winning the fight, why put yourself at additional risk?
Yeah, man, and I think he put himself at a big risk, yeah, bro, because he was striking with Derek Lewis. He didn't try his wrestling too much. Then when he actually went in for a takedown, he was too tired to time the takedown and got knocked out. You know,
didn't set it up properly and got smashed.
Yeah, man, and bro, he was sleeping for a long time, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a bad one.
You know, and then because I guess it goes back to mixed martial arts. Yeah, bro, you gotta be well rounded. You gotta be proficient. Yeah, bro. You know, like yourself, like Romero. Yeah, bro, you guys are so well rounded. You know, he's, you know, his wrestling. You know, and he's evolved his striking. Would you use it with me? Watching your fights, your striking is sort of taking your center stage. Yeah, bro. Your submissions, you're not a slouch in the submission. You know, how important is it for a guy to build his base into a complete game if you're evolving into mixed martial arts?
Yeah, very important, man, because you see it happen all the time. Still in MMA, you see like a phenomenal striker and he gets taken down and he just has no idea what to do on the ground. You can tell he doesn't know how to do basic jujitsu shit like shrimp and get your frames and get back up to the feet. He doesn't know because he's never done it. Or you see some guy that you know is a phenomenal wrestler. Maybe he's like a D1 champ and he comes in and he just looks lost on the feet and he's getting pieced up and he can't get his takedown because he keeps getting punched in the face. So like you said, it's mixed martial arts for a reason.
Like we saw Anthony Hernandez, defeat that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu second degree black belt,
Yeah,
Rodolfo Vieira. Yeah,
yeah,
bro, that's a prime ass example right there, man.
exactly.
He fucking tried. Vieira tried everything, yeah, bro. He was humping his leg like a
Yep,
little pit bull puppy, and
yep,
and in the end, he got his ass tired, and he got his ass kicked. You
yep.
know?
Seriously.
And that was it. You know,
Yep.
if he learned his striking a bit more, learn how to control his cardio, then use the jiu-jitsu, who knows?
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, Anthony, Aaron, bro, it's a madness. It's a madness of a sport, bro.
Yep.
Unpredictable as it gets.
Seriously.
Fucking stupid. Yeah. And that's why I love it, man. I love this
Yep.
shit.
That's how we do.
You know, and when we talk about inspiration, yeah, bro. Who inspired you, bro, to come into mixed martial arts?
Yeah, growing up, my favorite was always Anderson Silva. It's like kind of a cliche, just like one of the best guys. But yeah, he was always my favorite growing up. I loved him.
Definitely. Any Canadian favorites, bro?
I like George. George was always great. But I don't know. I wasn't like the biggest fan. I don't know for what reason. Like when he was fighting BJ Penn, I love BJ Penn. I was always rooting for BJ, even though George was a Canadian.
Man, you must have if you wore your BJ Penn shirt, bro, during that fight, man. And then in terms of admiration, yeah, bro, you talked about when you started because you're watching your fights with your brother.
Yeah.
Was that your was that who are some of the guys you admire, bro? Do you admire anyone else apart from Anderson Silva in the sport now?
In the sport now, I mean, everyone, man, like all the champs, like you look up to those guys. They're at the pinnacle of the sport. They're where every fighter wants to be. But I think when you get to a high enough level, you stop looking at these guys as like role models and idols, and you start looking at them as like competition or even like colleagues, right? Like I want to be at that level.
Yeah.
This guy is just another guy that works in the same field as me. I think you start to admire guys that are around you more, like guys that are in the gym with you, and you see how hard they work. Like I don't know what John Jones or Kamaru Usman or what these guys are doing. I'm sure they work hard, but I don't see it. But I see the guys in my gym like day after day, like grinding and busting their balls. So yeah, those are the guys I kind of look up to and respect now.
And that's who you admire, right? Your coaches,
Exactly.
your teammates,
My coaches, my teammates, exactly.
Yeah, because those are the guys that you see every day. Yeah, I know a lot of guys like that, man. You know, and I guess that's the way to go. Yeah, your coaches, your teammates, your family. We saw it even at one championship with Christian Lee and Angela Lee, and he had his like 16-year-old sister, yeah, bro, yeah, competing, and she won in a big ass.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah,
so
and
crazy.
it was crazy, yeah, but I mean, you gotta do what you love with the people you love, right?
Exactly.
And then yeah, man. And just before we wrap it up, yeah, I want to get some predictions for you, bro, because we're 6 nights away. Yeah, fucking 4 champions, three championship fights.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
I'm gonna get my fucking booze ready for. But yeah, man. First one up, Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling, bro. Who do you think?
I'm gonna go with Yan. I
Wow.
think he's just a little bit more skilled and well-rounded. I
Oh,
think he'll
shit.
take it.
I was thinking he would catch Sterling with like a left hand, right hand or something coming
Yeah,
forward.
yeah,
Um, Megan Anderson and Amanda Nunes, bro, for the featherweight championship.
yeah. Nunes, like clear as day, I think. I mean, she's got to be a huge favorite in this one, right?
Bro, that's what I was saying, you know. And Megan Anderson, she's inconsistent, bro. So every big fight she's had, she's lost,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. It's a
Um,
tough one, man. Yeah, I see Nunes winning probably pretty quickly.
and then, man, I feel even scared telling you about this one, man, because I don't know what you would say. Jan Blachowicz against Israel Adesanya, man.
This one I have absolutely no idea. I don't know if I've watched enough of uh, Blachowicz to really know what exactly he does. Like I've seen some of his fights, but I never like closely paid attention to him.
Mm.
Izzy's obviously a complete beast, but I don't think he's the biggest 185er. I don't know if size is going to play a big advantage. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave that one as a toss up. I have no idea.
When he came into the UFC, yeah, bro, Jan was actually a wrestler. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
humping guys, you know.
yeah,
And now
yeah,
his knockout power has taken center stage.
yeah, yeah.
So
So maybe he wrestle fucks Izzy and beats him up on the ground. Who
who
knows?
knows? Who has size, bro? Imagine that fucker must be walking around at 210, yeah,
Yeah, at
maybe
least.
220 pounds. Um,
Seriously.
the most I would ever see Izzy walking around there would probably be around 210 pounds.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, man, you never know, man.
Never
Size
know,
matters.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a big guy, man. Shit, you uh, uh, size matters, bro. But yeah, man, I wish you. I want to thank you both for coming on the show.
Of course,
Uh,
bro.
Good luck in your interview, man, with the MMA Junkie. I hope you
Thank
have
you,
a
sir.
good one, yeah, bro. And
Yeah,
I want to thank you once again, man, for coming on the show. It's a
of
pleasure to
course.
me. And good luck, man, in Cage Fury. I hope you
Thanks,
bring that
brother.
strap back to
Yeah, man.
Canada.
We can do another one of these when I got the nice new gold belt with me.
Man, you better put that up in the camera, innit? Yeah, so I
Fuck yeah.
can.
Fuck yeah.
Man, I wish you all the best of luck in that fight, man. It's gonna
Thank
be
you,
a
bro.
doozy. I'm gonna be fucking
Thank you.
watching it.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man.
So nah, thank you, man. Aaron Jeffery, folks. Um, thank you very much.